In the high-tech corridors of the city's financial district, where billions of dollars move with a single keystroke, there are forces at play that have nothing to do with the stock market. We often wonder why some people have godlike luck, why they survive accidents that should be fatal, or how they amass fortunes that span generations without ever aging a day. The truth is much simpler and far more dangerous. The ancient gods never truly left. They just traded their temples for penthouses and their lightning bolts for high-frequency trading algorithms. The story begins with Ren, a cynical, low-level insurance investigator who specializes in impossible claims. His life is a monotonous cycle of paperwork and cheap coffee until he is assigned to investigate a mysterious survivor of a private jet crash. The plane disintegrated at 30,000 feet, yet a man named Hades, the CEO of the world's largest funerary and logistics conglomerate, was found walking away from the wreckage without a single scratch on his Italian suit. When Ren corners Hades in his obsidian-walled office, he doesn't find a businessman. He finds a man who smells of ancient ozone and cold earth. Hades doesn't offer a bribe. He offers Ren a glimpse behind the veil. He touches Ren's forehead, and suddenly the Modern God series begins. Ren realizes that the city's power grid is actually a network of channeled prayer energy, and the Smart Cities initiative is a blueprint for a new Olympus. Hades reveals a terrifying secret. A war is brewing. The old gods, led by a ruthless media mogul who channels the power of the sun, are planning to reset humanity to regain the absolute worship they lost centuries ago. Hades, who has grown fond of the complexities of human emotion and modern technology, wants to stop them, but a god cannot interfere directly in the mortal realm without a vessel, a human who can house their essence without burning up. Ren, who with his unremarkable life and his strange resistance to divine influence is the perfect candidate. As the series unfolds, Ren must navigate a world where a social media influencer might be a siren, a street fighter might be the god of war in hiding, and his own boss might be the gatekeeper to the underworld. The first script ends with Ren standing on the edge of a skyscraper, the sky turning a bruised purple as the sun god's new dawn begins. Hades' voice echoes in his mind, cold and absolute. They want a world of puppets, Ren. Let's show them why the shadows were created. The transition from a world of ghosts to a world of gods was silent, occurring in the static between television channels and the fiber optic pulses of the stock exchange. While Kale and Aaron found their peace on a snowy bridge, a different kind of storm was gathering in the glass towers of the financial district. We often look at the titans of industry, the men and women who control the world's data, energy, and wealth, and wonder how they achieved such absolute perfection. We call them industrial gods as a metaphor. We are wrong. It isn't a metaphor. The story shifts to Ren, a man whose life is defined by the mundane. As a senior investigator for a global insurance firm, Ren's job is to find the lie in every tragedy. He is a man of logic, of blueprints, and of cold, hard facts. That logic is shattered the morning he is sent to a crash site in the Han River. A private Gulfstream jet disintegrated mid-air, raining debris across the water. There were no survivors, except for one. Standing on the riverbank, his charcoal suit dry and his silk tie perfectly knotted, was Silas Thorne, the CEO of Acheron Logistics. When Ren watches the recovery footage, he notices something impossible. As Silas Thorne walks away from the burning wreckage, the flames don't just avoid him, they seem to bow. When Ren finally corners Thorne in his office, a room 80 stories up that feels more like a cathedral than a boardroom, he doesn't find a businessman. He finds a man who smells of ancient ozone and cold earth. Silas doesn't offer a bribe. He offers Ren a glimpse behind the veil. He touches Ren's forehead and suddenly the city changes. The glowing neon signs aren't just advertisements. They are sigils, harvesting the attention and worship of the masses to power the immortality of the elite. The Smart Cities grid is actually a massive circuit board designed to channel human prayer into data centers. Silas Thorne isn't just a CEO, he is the modern incarnation of the god of the underworld, and he's bored. He tells Ren that his brothers and sisters, the gods of the sun, war, and wisdom, have grown tired of the slow crawl of humanity. They are planning a system reset, a global catastrophe that will force humanity back into a state of primitive fear and absolute worship they lost centuries ago. But a god cannot stop a god in the physical realm without a tether. They need a vessel, a human with a rare bloodline capable of housing divine energy without exploding. Ren, whose medical records show a strange resistance to all known diseases and a brain that operates on a frequency slightly out of sync with the rest of the world, is that vessel. Silas Thorne needs Ren to be his hands in the world above, to infiltrate the corporate temples of his siblings and dismantle the reset from the inside. The first conflict arises when Ren is sent to investigate a series of unprovoked riots at a tech campus. There, he encounters Marcus, a heavyweight boxing champion and social media icon who is secretly the vessel for the god of war. The fight isn't just physical, it's a clash of fundamental forces. As Marcus swings, the air around him combusts with the heat of 1,000 battlefields. Ren, fueled by the cold, crushing gravity of the underworld, realizes that he isn't just an investigator anymore. He is the anchor for a god. As the season progresses, Ren discovers that the immortal queen and her hotel weren't an isolated incident. They were the cleanup crew for the mess the gods left behind. Now that the hotel is gone, the modern gods are acting without restraint. Ren must navigate a world where a viral video is a hypnotic spell and a terms and conditions agreement is a soul contract. He is a man caught between his humanity and the encroaching darkness of the deity living inside his mind. The script reaches its peak when Ren realizes that the sun god, operating as the head of the world's largest media empire, has scheduled a global peace event that is actually the trigger for the reset. Ren stands on the helipad of the Acheron building, the wind howling around him, his eyes glowing with obsidian light. Silas Thorne's voice echoes in his skull. "They think they are the light of the world, Ren. Remind them that the sun eventually sets, but the darkness is eternal."